Okay, this video is not gonna have the best sound because it's really hot and I need a fan because we don't have air conditioning. Yeah. What I want to do today is fix this hair. The last time I did a video in which I cut my hair, I got my first hate comment and wasn't that great. No, I recently went from my natural hair color back to blonde. It's not even at all. I mean, this is just... Today we are working on the cut. It's too hot to be walking around like this. I want to like freshen this up a little bit. In the meantime, I thought I should talk about something else other than hair cutting because I feel like that would just be boring. Actually, I have something I've been wanting to talk about, and that is safety in Japan. When I tell people I live in Japan, people are like, oh, it's so safe there, and it's true. It is very safe here. Like, I can walk around in the city at night by myself and like I don't have to worry about some creepy person attacking me or something, which in Belgium, by the way, I'm from Belgium, I can't do that. Like, I am terrified walking around in the city at night as a girl by myself. Like, no, we don't do that there. But yeah, here, like, I feel super duper safe. Same thing with like, there's a lot less theft and stuff here. Like in Belgium, if you leave your bike locked somewhere, your bike is still gonna get stolen 9 out of 10 times. It's insane. People just steal bikes all over the place. In Japan, I never lock my bike. I should lock it more, but it's just like there's just nobody that would take a bike here. I mean, it probably happens. For example, in the cafeteria, back when I was studying here, if you wanted to reserve your table, you would just put your wallet on top of the table and leave to get your food, like way on the other side of the room, and you would just leave your wallet on a table. It's fine. Like, and in cafes as well, people do that to save their seat. They'll put their wallet on the table and then people know, oh, somebody has reserved this. That would never happen in a European country. Like, that's just not possible. Your wallet would be gone. So, you know, Japan is a safe country. I agree. However, in light of recent events... Oh, this is not a look. This is why I need a haircut. Should I wet my hair? Maybe I should wet my hair. Okay, so as I was saying, a few weeks ago, I felt my first ever big earthquake. It was honestly terrifying. It was the most terrifying thing I've ever experienced in my life. By the way, I haven't like clarified this in the video. I don't know what I'm doing. I've been cutting my hair myself for like the last 10 years of my life, but like that doesn't mean I'm any good at it. Don't comment that I'm doing it wrong because like, I know I'm probably doing it wrong, but it's fine. There was a really big earthquake a few weeks back. Like, I felt like some small earthquakes before here and there when like suddenly like everything would start shaking a little bit, but this one was insane. Everyone that I've talked to in Japan about the earthquake has said that it was like the biggest one they've ever felt, except for a few people who I know were in the Kobe earthquake from like 20 years ago. That one had a lot more damage than this time. Honestly, this earthquake, luckily there wasn't that much damage and not that many people died, but oh my god, it was the scariest thing I've ever experienced. I think it was 8 in the morning when the earthquake happened, and I was just cleaning around the house before work, and my husband was asleep in the bedroom and I was in our guest room, and the first thing I noticed was this humming sound, or like kind of like an engine sound, but like deeper. I could tell that it was coming from the earth, and the sound went up like it was like a surge, right? Then before I knew it, I noticed that all our bookcases, because we have a lot of books, were like shaking so much, and like the books were falling off, and I was like swaying because like, you know, the whole floor, everything was shaking. At that moment I thought I was gonna die. I thought the house was gonna come down. That's what it felt like. This might seem dramatic for people that have seen more earthquakes, but this was my first big earthquake, and the way everything was shaking, I just thought the whole building's coming down. And from the kitchen I could hear like clanking noises and like breaking noises and it was just the scariest thing. So I was screaming. I was hysterical. I was screaming, and then luckily my husband was still home, so like he came over and he sort of managed to say like, hey, it's okay. It's okay, it's gonna be okay, even though he was really scared too because it was the biggest one he's ever felt as well. And so that happened, and then we heard like a lot of our neighbors outside, like a lot of people came outside and they were like, oh my god, what just happened? At this point I was still crying and shaking, and like now thinking back to it, it kind of seems like, it almost seems silly because, you know, we all survived. The damage was very minimal, and so now with thinking back, I'm like, it wasn't that bad, but honestly, like, yes it was. It was so scary. So with my hair, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't necessarily want to cut it shorter at this point because like I've been feeling like I want to be a Disney princess, and so I want to like grow my hair. It just needs to feel a little lighter, so I'm just like, yeah, lightening it up, I guess. Cutting some layers, I don't know. Luckily Japan's houses, they are kind of built to withstand earthquakes. Like if this had happened in Belgium, there would be so much damage because our houses are just brick. Like if this was a brick house, it would have just, you know, crumbled and fallen down. But here it's kind of built to kind of sway. A lot of the furniture in Japan is actually stuck to the wall just in case of an earthquake, that like cupboards don't like fall over. And if it's like a tall bookcase type of thing, they'll have like little kind of extension poles that kind of like make sure they don't move in case of an earthquake. Of course, I don't have any of that. But then again, I live on the second floor, so it's not as important. I don't know. I still think I should get some of those like extension poles for the bookcases over there, because what if someone's sleeping there and then an earthquake happens and the bookcases fall on top of them? Like that is terrifying. But yeah, all of this to say that Japanese houses and just Japanese structures in general are very much amazing. And so the days after the earthquake, we had like a couple more earthquakes, or aftershocks, I suppose you could say. None of them were as bad as the first one, but like I was so paranoid, and every time they would happen I would just start freaking out again. Honestly, it took me a while to sort of calm down about it, because in Japan, like, people are so resilient. People still went to work after the earthquake. They were just like, okay, is my house fine? Okay, let's go. 5 minutes after the earthquake, like, I was looking outside the window and one of our neighbors was like walking towards his car to go to work, and I was just like, what a brave soul. I was lucky that it was my day off. If I had work that day, I don't know if I would have made it, because I was literally in a state of shock. Now, of course, a lot of places where the damage was big, like, work was canceled. Like, I know some shops were closed. I know a lot of schools were closed for a while because they had some damage that they had to fix. At our house, it really wasn't that bad. We just had some plant pots fall down, so there was like a lot of earth and soil scattered over the floor, but like, you know, all in all, it's not that bad. Nothing else broke aside from some plant pots, which I still need to fix. I'm still keeping my poor cacti like this. I need to repot them. You know, I really can't complain, and like, I don't want to make it too dramatic, because I know that there's been so many worse disasters in the world, and even in Japan, things could be a lot worse. So I do feel very lucky in a way. But that, you know, that experience was kind of my first hint at the fact that Japan isn't this safe utopia. I think 1 week after that, we had like ridiculous rain. This was even on the news a lot back in Belgium, because I got so many messages from my friends asking if I was okay. There was like flooding and there was landslides, and a lot of people actually did die. I was very lucky with where I live. We were kind of in like just like a good location for there not to be too much water, but like that news was so scary. Again, like, a lot of Japanese people, it's kind of like it's normal. It's just like part of life. I mean, it's a disaster and everybody feels terrible about it, but they're very much like, well, this is life, and you know, these things happen. Because it's true, these things happen in Japan a lot. They have a lot of typhoons, a lot of earthquakes. They're just sort of like, well, it's something we have to live with. Our mosquito net just ran away.
It's not gone.
Boy. Why is there still a car going? Having these two quite disastrous things happen so soon after one another, it was kind of a wake-up call. Whereas the earthquake was actually really close to where I lived. It was in Ibaraki. Like, I have friends there, and like, Like, I can ride my bicycle there. It's terrifying. Oh, I have so much hair. And over the past weeks, I've gotten so many messages from my family and my friends in Belgium, and so much of them are like telling me like, hey, how about you come home? You know what? It crossed my mind. After that earthquake, I was like, you know what? But obviously it's not as simple as that. In a way, every country has its dangers, you know? Like in Belgium, we have terrorism to worry about. Japan doesn't have terrorism. It's all about how you look at it, you know? I remember after the terrorist attack happened in Belgium, that happened while I was still in Belgium. I remember like we were talking to like our friends and family, like what do we do? Are we gonna go out? Are we still gonna go to Brussels? Are we still gonna, you know, go out and do this or that? And like the conclusion we all came to was sort of like, well, you can't just stop living your life. I mean, of course, if it's like super dangerous, you shouldn't go out. But like after the terrorist attack, some people like literally were like, I'm never going to Brussels again. You know, it's something that is sadly part of life, and it's something that as a one singular person, there's nothing really you can do about it. So I figure that you might as well live your life. And I think the same goes for Japan. Sure, there could be an earthquake tomorrow that just destroys the whole city, but there's nothing I can do about it. I wish there was like some kind of technology to kind of predict when an earthquake would come. I've been asking a lot of Japanese people this, like, why isn't there any technology for this? But apparently there just isn't. Apparently you can't just predict that stuff, which is very disappointing. However, there is another earthquake coming. They do know this. They call it the Big Nankai earthquake, and it's supposed to hit sometime in the future. They say it's going to be within the next 20 years. It's going to be in the sea, but it's going to cause a huge tsunami, and the tsunami is going to hit Wakayama and reach all the way up to where I live, which is Osaka. And I was talking to some of my students about this. I'm an English teacher for adults, and so like I was talking to my advanced class about these topics, and they explained that when the earthquake hits, we here will have 1 hour to evacuate and get to a like tall place, because it's gonna be here in 1 hour. When he said that, that's so scary. And like they don't know when it's gonna come, but it's gonna come in within the next 20 years. Like I'm gonna be here for at least 2 more years. Oh my god. And even after that, you know, like I will go to Belgium, but I have so many people here that I love. This is for sure something that's gonna happen. It's so crazy to think that this is a real thing. And like, I mean, people don't really talk about it. It has come up during my classes. Some students will mention that they're scared of the earthquake that's coming, but mostly I think people just don't talk about it because it's not really a fun topic, which is why I didn't know that this was a thing until quite recently, you know, until this earthquake happened. So people were like on the topic of earthquakes. I used to have one of those scissors with like grates in them. I don't know how to explain it. Those are great because I could easily like thin out my hair, but now it's so hard. And the back is so hard to do. And all I have is this viewfinder. So yeah. But I find that like the longer your hair is, the easier it is to cut, because like if your hair is really long, like you don't really notice mistakes as much. While when my hair was shorter and I was like, you know, recutting it a little bit, I always felt like you could see every little mistake I made, which is not ideal. Ow. I don't know how to do this. Wait, okay, maybe we just use more of these. Any hairstylist, feel free to drag me. I don't know, like, it's fine. I know that if I went to a salon, I could get it done professionally and it would probably look great and I wouldn't look like an alien. But like, nah, I just think it's expensive. I don't mind the action of doing it, so like, why not, you know? Oh my god, I think I just cut into this. Whoops. For the record, when I cut other people's hair, I like actually try. You know, like I don't do this. It's a lot harder doing it on yourself, and so I just kind of lose the patience to do it properly, because how the hell are you supposed to do the back of your own head, you know? Because like I know there's better techniques than what I'm doing here as well, like I know that, but like that takes more effort, and like I'm not, like it's too hot for effort today, right on this very day here. Okay, but I'm almost done. I think I swallowed some hair. I know this is kind of a strange combination of a video. Why am I cutting my hair and talking about safety in Japan? I don't know. I wanted to talk about safety in Japan and I also wanted to cut my hair. That's how things go. Everywhere has their thing, you know, there's probably no country on earth that's like super safe. Like a lot of people say like Australia and New Zealand, but like Australia's got crazy animals, right? Don't they have like deadly things running around everywhere? Maybe New Zealand. New Zealand seems really safe. If anyone from New Zealand is watching, could you tell me what your like danger is? Like, do you guys have crazy weathers or something else that's just like dangerous? Is that a weird question to ask? I don't know. I don't want to insult anyone, but I am interested to know. Wow. I don't know if this did anything. I can show you that there's a lot of hair right here, so yeah. It does feel a lot lighter, especially here. This area is good. This area is not that good. Too much hair going on here still. You know what? I'm gonna have lunch and then come back to it later. Okay, I've returned. I've gone and checked out my hair a little bit. I actually really like it from the front. This side looks longer than this side though. Does it? I can't tell. I'm just gonna work on the back a little bit and call it a day. I like this type of hairstyle, you know? That's kind of like those like messy, wispy ends. Is wispy a word? I don't know. Wherever I feel like it's too thick, I just cut some out. I think I'm getting there. How? I think I just cut myself. This feels a lot lighter than before. It feels great. Oh yeah, that feels good. Oh, this feels so much better. It's looking a lot more alive. So, in conclusion, I have realized that Japan is not the safest country on earth. I've had a little bit of a wake-up call. Am I concerned? Yes, it's something I do think about still now. It's a reality that things like this might happen again and that they might be worse. But am I gonna move back to Belgium? No, because as I said before, every place has their dangers and there's no use in stopping to live your life because of something like this. I think all you can do is try to live your life the best you can every single day. Because that's actually kind of a positive I got from this, is that as cliche as it sounds, I realized that life is short and that, like, you know, like there could be an earthquake tomorrow and we might all die tomorrow. All we have is today. All I have right now is today, this day right now. And what am I doing with my time? Am I spending it in a way that I'm enjoying myself, or am I just like here but not really living? That's something that I was thinking about a lot, and it has kind of made me jump into this kind of productivity, and it's made me start things that I've been wanting to start but just haven't because I'm a procrastinator. But now it's just kind of like, you know what? If I want to do it, I gotta do it now. But that's getting into like a whole different philosophy, which I have a lot to say about, but like let's not make this video too long. All I have to say is that we don't know how our life's gonna go. We should be thankful to be alive, and we should enjoy. What is with this psychological? I need to stop. This was just a hair cutting video. I don't know how to end this video. Like, do I end it on some like very high positive philosophical note of like, you live only once? Or, you know, do I just say like, hey, here's my hair? I don't know. I really don't know what this video was. I think my main message is just like, live every day like it's your last, because it could be your last. And also, like, you know, this is my hair. I know it probably doesn't look that much different, but it feels so much better. I don't know if you can see the back very well. Actually, I haven't seen the back, so that might be horrible. Is it horrible? How bad does it look? But yeah, anyways, I am going to go. If you're interested in more Japan videos, I do have a Japan channel where I post like my Japan related videos usually, which I run with my husband, so feel free to head on over there if you'd like. And other than that, I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.